Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Cantor and this is Modeling with Mr. Cantor. Now, what I want you to do before we get started is to read this question to yourself, look at the information provided to you, ask yourself what do you notice and what do you wonder, and then we will look at it together. Alright, welcome back. The question says, here are two box plots that summarize two data sets. Do you agree with each of the following statements? Explain your reasoning. Before we look at these statements and ask ourselves if we agree or disagree with them, why don't we look at the actual box plots and see what is some information that you could gather just by looking at it. Please pause the video and let me know. Alright, welcome back. You might recall that when it comes to box plots, the first line right here indicates what is the minimum value of your data. What's interesting here is box plot A and box plot B both have a minimum data point of 0, and that's why we have this vertical line right here. Since we talked about the minimum value of both box plots, what do you think is the maximum value of both these box plots? Pause the video and let me know. Alright, welcome back. If you said the maximum value for box plot B is 15, then you are correct. And if you said the maximum value for box plot A is 16, you are also correct. Good job. Now, is there anything else that we could notice about both of these box plots before we begin to look at these statements? Please pause the video and let me know. Alright, welcome back. If you said you noticed that both of them also have the first quartile to be 2, that is correct. If you notice that their third quartile or the medians are both different, for box plot A, the median is 3, and for box plot B, the median is somewhere in between 3 and 4, which could mean that it's possibly 3.5, which is 3 and 5/10. In addition, you might have noticed that the value for the third quartile for box plot A is 5, and you might have also noticed that the value for the third quartile for box plot B is 8. So now that we have uncovered all the different noticings and wonderings that you might have about this box plot or about these box plots in general, let's look at what they're asking us to do. For part A, they said both data sets have the same range. For part B, it says both data sets have the same minimum value. So go ahead, pause the video, and let me know, what do you think about both of these statements? Okay, so for part A, it says both data sets have the same range. Do you remember how to find the range? Please pause the video and let me know. Alright, welcome back. If you said in order to find the range, what you need to do is to take the minimum value and subtract it from the maximum value, then you are correct. Well, for box plot A, the minimum value is 0, and the maximum value is 16. So, if we do the subtraction, 16 minus 0 is 16. 15 minus 0 is 15. So we can see here that the ranges are actually not the same. So if that's what you said, you are correct. All right, let's take a look at the second question. The second question says both data sets have the same minimum value. Is that true? What do you think? Please pause the video and let me know. All right, welcome back. If you said that the minimum values are the same, then you're correct. And we actually spoke about this when we were looking at the things that we notice and the things that we wonder. We can see here that the minimum value actually is 0. Good job on that one. Since the minimum for A is 0 and the minimum for B is 0, we can see that the mins are actually the same. Okay, with that said, let's move on. Now here, I want you to pause the video and read what is part C asking us and what is part D asking us, and then we will read it together. Alright, welcome back. Part C says the IQR shown in box plot B is twice the IQR shown in box plot A. What in the world is an IQR? Do you know what that is? Please pause the video and let me know. What is an IQR? Alright, welcome back. If you said the IQR is the interquartile range, then you are correct. So how do you find the interquartile range? Do you know how to do that? Please pause the video and let me know. Alright, welcome back. If you said to find the interquartile range, what you need to do is subtract the first quartile from the third quartile, then you're correct. So let's do that. Let's take a look at the interquartile range of box plot A and box plot B. So for the box plot A, the IQR is going to be 5 minus 2 because quartile 3 is at 5, quartile 1 is at 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3. If we look at box plot B, we will notice that quartile 3 is at 8. We'll notice that quartile 1 is at 2, and 8 minus 2 is 6. So is box plot B twice in value as box plot A when we're talking about their interquartile range? Please pause the video and let me know. All right, welcome back. Since 6 is twice 3, we can definitely say that box plot B has an IQR that is twice that of box plot A. Good job. With that said, let's move on and answer part D. So part D is asking us the following. Box plot A shows a data set that has a quarter of its values between 2 and 5. The question is that a true statement? Please pause the video and let me know. What do you think about that statement? All right, welcome back. If you said that the zone between 2 and 5 does not make up 25% of the data, in fact, it makes up 50% of the data, then you're correct. We can see that 2 is right here, and we can see that 5 is right here. We should know that the values that are inside this rectangle, which means these values are between quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3. We should know that numbers in this area are always going to represent 50% of the data. That is really important to know. Okay, so with that said, since part D was saying that it's only a quarter of the values, we know that this statement is false. All right, let's move ahead. Now, this question is very interesting. I want you to pause this video, read the question to yourself, and then we will do it together. All right, welcome back. Let's read the question. It says, these dot plots show the same data sets as those represented by the box plots. Decide which box plot goes with each dot plot. Explain your reasoning. All right, so what I want you to do is to look at the dot plots, data set 1 and 2, look at the box plots A and B, and try to figure out which ones actually match. So go ahead, pause the video, and let me know what you think. All right, welcome back. Now, one of the things that I think we should do in order to answer this question as quickly and efficiently as possible is start with the minimum values and start with the maximum values. All right, so let's take a look. We can see in data set 1 and in data set 2 that the minimums are what value? Please pause the video and let me know. All right, welcome back. If you said those values are both 0, they're both the same, then you are correct. And we can notice here that the box plots also start from 0, and that's the minimum value. Finding the minimum has not been helpful to us in identifying which data set goes with which box plot. Maybe finding the maximum will help us. Why don't you pause the video and help us? What is the maximum of the first data set? And what is the maximum of the second data set? Please pause the video and let me know. All right, welcome back. If you said the maximum of the first data set is 15, you are correct. And if you said the maximum of the second data set is 16, you are also correct. Could this possibly help us? Let's see. The maximum of box plot A is the 16, and the maximum of box plot B is 15. They are different, so this is definitely going to help us. So why don't you pause the video and let me know. Which box plots do you think match with which data sets? All right, welcome back. If you said that since the largest data point for data set 2 is 16, that means we need to find a box plot that has a max of 16. Since box plot B has a max of 16, we know that that data set 2 is for box plot B. This automatically translates to that data set 1 matches box plot A. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Mr. Cantor. I hope this has been helpful to you. I will see you in the next one. Take care for now.